Okay, hello women. I hope that you are well. Today I am sharing with you the By the Light of the Full Moon meditation. It's the full moon eclipse in Scorpio. So this is kind of a triggering one for many of us, because this full moon, with it being an eclipse as well, it's very dark. There can be quite a strong dark element to it. We know that during the full moon, we always work on letting go, on releasing, on forgiving, on all of these kind of, surrender experiences. But for many of us, there will be something somewhere that we are still kind of not quite sure how to let go of, or we're not sure whether we're going to be able to let go of it. We might actually feel fear about letting go of that thing. Sometimes it may be, fear because there's a lot of shame around that thing for us personally, or it may be fear of, well, if I let go of this thing, then who does that make me? Like, who's left behind? Or maybe it's fear of, a mistake that we've made in our lives. And we think, if I let it go, then does that mean that I'm potentially going to make that same mistake again? So just as I'm talking through some of these things, you might be starting to have some little sparks going off in your mind where you know what that thing is or what those things are. If you don't, at this point, that's totally fine. We'll just see how we get on with this, and see what comes up. And just as always, I completely encourage you to journal after we've finished, go a little bit deeper on what comes up. So go ahead and find a way of sitting that feels the most comfortable for you. I'm going to close the eyes and drop the awareness into the breath. Taking a few slow, steady, long, deep breaths in and releasing them entirely. And with every one of those exhalations, we're just dropping a little bit deeper into this experience, into this journey today. And it's as if we are transported to the edge of a beautiful field of golden grass that stands tall. And up overhead, you can see that dark night sky filled with a canopy of stars. And the full moon in Scorpio shining down on us. And we begin to walk forwards into the field, into the grass. And as we do, the grasses part, creating a path for us to follow. With every step that we take, new space on that path appears. And as we're walking, let's see if we can just list with the mind the things that we would like to let go of during this full moon. We can start with the obvious things, maybe stress, maybe we snapped at our little one or at our partner or friend this month. Maybe we've not been quite as productive as we might otherwise like to be. But then we start to go a little bit deeper. Maybe there are thoughts that we've had, or remarks that we've made, or looks that we've given. Little flickers of annoyance or triggers that have popped up for us. Maybe we're wanting to let go of and release a bit of frustration, some anger that we may be holding on to, some deep sadness. And as we walk, we go a little bit deeper still. We go into a shadowy space along that walk where the moon becomes darker. The eclipse is coming. And yet we keep walking into the shadows, into the darkness, in spite of any fear, any apprehension that we may have. We continue moving forwards. And as we do, we begin to notice those things which we have been holding on to because it feels too scary or too painful or even impossible to release, to let go of. And we keep walking, we keep moving forward, recalling these things, maybe even seeing a scene play out in the mind's eye, an experience, a memory, a trauma, an action that we may have taken that we know has been lingering around us for too long. We're facing up to that now. And eventually, as we continue digging deeper and deeper on this, we come to a clearing in the field, still in that bit of darkness with just the stars lighting the way. And in the center of that clearing, we notice a cage, a bird cage, with a beautiful little bird inside it. And as we approach that cage, we notice what that bird looks like, how it behaves, any sounds that that bird is making. And when we arrive, she notices us. She recognizes us. And she turns to us, ready to listen intently. And we see this now as an opportunity for us to confide what we've been holding on to confide what we know we need to be letting go of in order to move forward. So we begin to tell this bird. And we can whisper right now, we can say out loud what it is that we're wanting to let go of. And I'll drop my voice out for just a moment or so you can talk that through out loud while that bird just listens. And just coming towards the end of our confessions, the end of our little share, we look into the bird's eyes and we see the deepest compassion. And looking at the cage that this bird is in now, we find the little gate, the door, the lock, and we unlock it so that that bird can fly out. And she comes and lands on our shoulder very briefly, nudging her head against our chin, just providing us with a little comfort, a little safety. She has no judgment. And then we'll say out loud, I set you free. I set you free. I set you free. And we watch now as that bird begins to flap her wings and fly up into the sky as the moon is becoming brighter and brighter once again. We see that bird flying towards the moon, the silhouette, becoming a little dot in the distance until we can no longer see that bird at all. We take a full, deep breath in, finding more space than we have in a long time. And exhale, releasing the weight of the world from the shoulders. And we begin to walk back along that path, back through the grass, back towards where we started. Only now, we are changed. We are lighter. We are set free. And we'll take a full deep breath in now all together. And exhale to open up the eyes. And thank you so much for joining for this By the Light of the Full Moon meditation. As I say, please do go ahead and journal a little bit about what came up during this session, during this soul work meditation. You can journal about what it was that you were letting go of. You could journal about what the bird looked like and how we felt about meeting that bird, or saying out loud, the thing that we were wanting to let go of, the thing that we were ready to surrender. You could journal about whether there's still a little bit of that there with us, and what parts of it there is that we're still able to learn from. Because often when something sticks with us, it's because there's still something that our soul knows that we have to learn from it. So jot down any lessons that have come up, any action steps that you need to take moving forward, and feel free to let me know how it went for you. You can reach me on Instagram, I'm at Gabriella Yoga, or on Facebook, I'm Gabriella Sophia Buxton. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care.